I was really interested reading the introduction to your book where you told how you first got intrigued with photography. And it was your childhood friend showing you his fancy camera.
Well, I saw the camera, and I was already interested with photography, but I was fascinated by what the camera looked like. I had no idea how it worked. It was shiny.
Mm-hmm. Had buttons.
Had buttons and knobs and dials, and so it intrigued me.
I mean, I've known your work for more than 40 years, and I'm remembering your early stuff that you were doing, and it tended to be kind of very colorful, very bright, clean, colorful. So you were doing that early stuff. It looked like a lot of it you were doing for fun, because it just looked like fun. But then you were doing also a lot of pretty slick commercial photography, product photography. And yet, look where you ended up. So that's really what we're focusing on now, is the book. And the book is just a slice of what your professional career has been. But can you talk about how it feels or works for you when you go into different cultures? Is it all just...
Oh, it's fascinating. Because you never know, you really never know what you're going to get into. You can't plan it.
Right.
But you need to be prepared for a lot of different things, which is a interesting challenge for me, because you've seen some of the lighting conditions we've been in.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Are non-existent.
Yeah.
It's like, what light?
So it's those kind of sort of technical things that you got to sort of figure out on the fly, and they're fascinating for me to try and figure those out. I love to just use the light that's there and maybe just enhance it a little bit so that it doesn't look like you're enhancing the light. That's been a real interesting way to work. Photographing the textiles brings you into contact with people you don't normally see. One of the reasons I really enjoy professional photography before textiles was, you get hired for a job and you get sent into a factory that nobody goes into except if you work there. I remember doing a job once in a gold mine.
Really?
That they carted all my equipment in on a rail car way into this mine, and we had to set it up, we had to light it, and it was very fascinating. But the textile one, look how many little villages we've been in, houses we've seen, and just fascinating people, how they live, food, all the wonderful food we've eaten.
Oh boy.
Just, it's made it a fascinating career.
When you looked at one of your portraits, you felt like you were really engaging the person, not just an image of the person. There's something extremely personal about it. How do you get that engagement so quickly? I mean, sometimes you're not with them for more than, like an hour, and yet you capture something that helps the reader feel like they know them.
I go back to my father. He didn't seem to get upset over anything. He could go into a situation and, he knew how to make friends. He just talked to people.
So you really adopted your dad's style.
I adopted my dad's
just how you interact with people.
His disposition. Yeah, he was a very calm guy, and he passed that on to me.
Yeah, well, I've seen it at work, and it does work. What would you say are the hardest shoots you've done for Thrums?
Technically, it's just like the Guatemala, some of those places we went to, was the lighting.
Where there was no lighting, it was raining. When you were selecting photos for this book, I mean, your personal archive has hundreds of thousands of images in it. We were focusing in on your travel photography, but that's still tens, if not hundreds of thousands of images. How did you pick?
Oh, it's easy to pick.
Oh, come on.
No, it is. It is really easy to pick.
Tell.
They just pop out at you. Before digital photography, you'd have to, make a contact sheet, or you'd get, in black and white, or when you you have to send film off, get it back from the processor, and the first thing you do is you start putting them in sleeves. One of the better ones would always pop out. That, oh, I like that one.
What's your favorite shot in the book? Can you say?
Oh, yeah.
What?
It's not a textile one.
Right.
It's those horses.
Oh, those horses that were galloping over you in Morocco.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an amazing. Did you have to get down on the ground to get that shot?
Yeah, I almost got run over. Plus, my other favorite one is the Peru cover.
The woman up near Huamphtupa.
Yeah.
Up at about 15,000 feet.
And the reason that one's is one of my favorite ones is because that was total luck. The woman came up, walking up the hill, and the background was spectacular.
Yeah.
The background looks fake. And she was willing to stand there for, I don't know how long she stood there, while we set the whole thing up. And got a great image out of it. One of the most interesting things about the picture, she has this little sewing needle stuck in her hat.
Yeah.
And Sig and I talked about that.
Sig, the designer.
Sig wanted to take it out.
Right.
And I said, no, it was part of her hat.
Well, all Peruvian women have a little needle in their hat because you never know when you're going to need a needle.
The reason I think this cover fits well is because these ladies are spinning. And we didn't set this shot up. These ladies just sat there.
That's just what they do.
They were spinning. And I thought, wow, this would be a great place to shoot a picture. So we organized them a little bit and just shot the picture.
And there it is. How do you want your reader to feel about this book? What do you want them to take away from it?
You know, I just greatly enjoyed, photographing all this stuff. I just want them to like it, to enjoy it. It's something most people don't see.